All my life, I wanted to be a doctor. I mean, as long as I can remember, that was the only thing I wanted to do. So much so that when I was 12 years old, I became a candy striper at a hospital. I was always in the patient's room. When I became a little bit older, I worked for a pharmacy. And when I became a little bit older, I even worked in the ER emergency room. But I'm not a doctor. What happened? Sometimes I ask myself, okay, I always tend to go back and I look at my university days. In the university, I took this one class and it was called organic chemistry. And for the life of me, I could not pass this class at all. I tried and I tried and I tried, even so much I ended up losing my scholarship because I failed it. Now granted, my high school coach was the football coach and I took my chemistry class at lunchtime. So for a long time I always blamed him thinking, oh my God, I couldn't pass this class because he was a football coach and I never really learned anything but stoichiometry, which is the balancing of equations. But then how did I get from wanting to be a doctor to owning a restaurant? It all started with a few words, 4 words to be exact. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. These are words that my mom used to tell me every single day of my life. I tell you, when she told me, I wake up in the morning and before I go to school, when I was younger, I used to say, yes, Mommy, thank you, I love you, I will, I remember who I am. But when I got older and I was in junior high school and then off to high school, I was like, all right, Mama, I get it. I'm always gonna remember who I am. But then I realized, why did those words start getting on my nerves? Why did I start not liking to hear the words, remember who I am? Because I didn't like who I was. I had a story that nobody really knew about. At 7 years old, I was molested, so I thought I was ugly. My grandmother used to tell me because of the color of my skin that I wasn't good enough for the family. So I always thought I was not enough. No matter what, those were the words that I heard in my head all the time, that I wasn't enough. No matter how much I achieved in life, I always heard I wasn't enough. But guess what? I was. And I didn't realize that remembering who I was, every part of the story of the journey of my life, I didn't begin to understand it until I moved to Japan. Now that story is an interesting one because I came to Japan as a missionary. And I was so excited when I got off the plane thinking, yes, we're about to get ready to do this. For 2 years, we were supposed to stay in Japan. But when we got off the plane, the worst thing happened. No one showed up to pick us up at the airport. What do you mean? For months we have been preparing to come here to do the work of a missionary. And a lot of parents were still going to be teaching English. I'm a singer, so I was singing gospel music. I was teaching gospel. I was teaching all types of songs. And I enjoyed doing it. We were so excited. But we also brought our dog. And when we got our dog, as soon as we got off the plane, our credit card was maxed out because he had to still spend a few more days in quarantine. So we're like, oh wait, how much money we got in our pocket? $67. That was it. Only $67 in a maxed out credit card and no one picking us up from the airport. We had nowhere to go. But I went to school with a really good friend and they came and got us. And he said, Tanya, I don't know what you're gonna do to my husband too. We can't support missionaries right now, but find your way to do what you do. And what do? We did music and we can cook. Music and food is what we knew. Now my husband, he's an MC. In the beginning, he wasn't so good, but I would still say, yeah, go ahead. And then, as he practiced, he went out that he was doing better and better, that he became such an amazing MC. As for me, every day I was going to work because we still had to support ourselves. That first 3 months, I had absolutely no idea. What do you mean? We came thinking we were going to be doing this work, but then I didn't have a visa. I didn't even realize that we were being a little bit scammed. Because the person, when we called and said, hey, the place that we were assigned to didn't come get us, they wasn't there. They had transferred offices. But my friend, our friend, he helped us to get a house. He helped us to get the furniture. One great thing about furniture in Japan is that everybody's trying to get rid of their furniture because they don't want to pay for it. So we got a whole lot of good furniture. We got a bed, we got a sofa, we got just about everything that we needed. But can you imagine getting off the plane and actually being homeless and sleeping on the floor of somebody's church building or office space? That's exactly what we did. We came to Japan and we were homeless. But he helped us to find everything that we needed. I remember that by the time that my dog got out of quarantine, we had our neighbors loved our little dog. He was a black dachshund. So much so, she brought 2 packages of sausage over. And I was just like, oh, thank you so much. She said, 1 package is for the dog and 1 package is for you and your husband. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. And we did just what she said. We gave the package to the dog, and we shared 1 package between my husband and I. Now, I'm a big girl. I needed that whole pack of sausages, but I was great. That first 3 months was really, really hard. But I did, and I was able to find a job. I was able to find an English teaching job. And I enjoyed teaching my family. I come from a background of educators, but it's not necessarily what I wanted to do. But I did what I had to do in order to do the task that we wanted to do. That's one thing about being on your journey. Sometimes you may have to do the things that you may not want to do in order to accomplish your goals and accomplish your dreams. Now, I ended up teaching English for 8 years, and I enjoyed every single bit of it. But one interesting thing on that first year, when we finally got that job teaching English, my friend, the same friend that helped us to find a place, he said, Tonya, I remember when I was living in America, that American Thanksgiving. Can you have a Thanksgiving party? And I said, yes, let's do that. Now for us, many people have their ideas when it comes to Thanksgiving, but for us, we were so grateful to be able to have a job. We were so grateful to have a community that was surrounding us, that we said we wanted to have this Thanksgiving to just say thank you to our community. We invited the 30 people that we knew and they came over to the house, and it was very interesting. That first year we had 1 turkey, and it fed all of us, and we had everything, and we just really were grateful for the things that we had. But what was interesting is that we did Thanksgiving for the next 10 years. And from that Thanksgiving, that first Thanksgiving party, we went from making 1 turkey to about 8 turkeys. We baked it in the first one in a little small oven, and then the next one, we ended up doing deep fried turkeys, oven turkeys, smoked turkeys. We were doing a whole bunch of stuff. We grew from going from having 30 people to over 200 people coming to our house. The first time, we knew everybody that came to our house. The last party that we had, we knew 40% of the people that came to our house because people were setting up shop. They were going like, oh, we know where we're going. We would literally put out a Facebook notice and say, all right, you guys, it's that time of the year, and we're getting ready to have Thanksgiving party again. People would come and they would help clean up. They would help cook a couple of days before. People would bring their own dishes. They would bring desserts, and they would bring their family. They would bring their friends, and they would set up in the corner. Everybody had their little sections, and we were grateful for every single last one. People would cry because they were going, oh, I miss this family atmosphere. How do you do this in Japan? I remember one year, the police knocking at our door. Ding, ding, ding. And everybody go, oh, they finna shut us down. They finna shut us down. They didn't shut us down. It just said, hey, somebody's parked in the wrong place. What you mean they didn't shut you down? Because one of the things about my husband and I, we made it a point to make the community a part of everything that we did. So we trusted our community, and they trusted us. And they invited us in to share. So a lot of times people will say, oh, the Japanese community is very shy. Nah, because I have so many people that come to the restaurant even now. They're waiting on the hug and very, very kind. And we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do if we didn't have both our international and our Japanese community surrounding us. It took all of us to create the village of what we have in our restaurant today. But from the Thanksgiving parties, from those 10 Thanksgiving parties, we were able to start doing cooking classes. People asked us to do catering. Now, one thing that's funny about the cooking class, when they asked me, they said, Tanya, can you do the cooking class? I was like, no. They said, what you mean no? I was like, I don't have time. I'm already busy. And then I remember, oh my goodness, my nephew called. He was like, I graduated. You said when I graduate, you'll bring me to Japan. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have no money. And I did the cooking class. And the cooking classes were some of the best times and best experiences. But then from the cooking class, they said, Tanya, can you open a restaurant? And I said, no. Do you know how much money it costs to open a restaurant? Oh, I can't do that. Do you know how much time it takes to open a restaurant? I can't do that. And then I got pregnant with my son. And then I was hungry. It was so much so that I love Japanese food, and there are so many restaurants around in Japan. However, I wanted home food. You know when you're going through that difficult time, you want to be able to have a taste of your mama or your grandmama or that taste of home? That's what I needed. So much so, my husband didn't even know how to make chicken and dumplings. I was like, baby, make some chicken and dumplings. I was like, make some catfish, make this. He was calling my mama left and right, going like, oh my God, I need this recipe, I need that recipe. Oh, she having this baby and she not eating anything but home food. And then I thought to myself, if I feel this way, how many other people feel this way? And it turned out to be a whole lot of people who just wanted a taste of home. And the interesting thing about it, even though we're an American restaurant, home is more than just the food. It's the atmosphere. It's the comfort of being able to say, come on, baby. One of the things about our restaurant is, it's not always about the money. Because sometimes you just gotta come to the house and get a meal. Sometimes you just gotta say, Mama, I'm having a bad day. Or, Mama, it's a great day, and I want to celebrate. And I want to celebrate with the food that I feel comfort in. And that's what our restaurant and our place is all about. So the interesting thing about it, I never set out to open a restaurant. Never. But it's interesting that you never know what gift inside of you is going to set you off into your destiny. You can study, and that thing may be the one thing that you're supposed to be in life, that you're destined to do in life. But there may be a dream inside of you that's birthed inside of you that you really want to do, that you really want to accomplish. I tell you right now, take nothing for granted. Take no gift, take no experience for granted. Sometimes we say, oh, I don't want to do this because it's boring. Oh, I don't want to go through this because, she's a difficult person, my boss is not good, or this is happening. But take every opportunity as a learning experience. If you don't like the way that the boss does it, learn how to do better from that experience. But take every experience that you have as a learning experience to try to make you into the best person that you can be, because your destiny is waiting on you.